Hey folks, it's Nate. Thanks for joining me once again as we look to the horizon. I am proud to report that all of my essay writing is done, so I am about a month and a half ahead of what I need to write. That's pretty exciting. That's always a nice feeling to have a bit of a buffer built up. I'm pretty sure that buffer is going to wind down pretty quickly. I usually try and shoot for a 2 to 3 week buffer. I have had a month-long buffer in the past. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get back to that point. It is a bit of a stretch to build up a buffer pretty effectively. However, I do have the buffer back. I'm very glad to have it back, and I am now working on future projects. So what am I working on? I am working on outlining the Gospel according to Earth. I have that probably about a third of the way done. Maybe no, it's about a third of the way done, just based on what I remember. I didn't go back and look at it before I sat down to record this, but I'm pretty sure that I am not to the halfway point yet. My goal for this week is to finish the outline using my usual method. I always handwrite my outlines. So I will take that to work with me, and I will probably mostly work on it at work. And while I'm at home, I am going to try and finish the edits for Burning Bright. Those have kind of fallen down the priority list as I work to build this buffer back up in the essay writing frenzy of the last week or so, week and a half. So I am still probably only about a third of the way done with those. So this week, all the writing I do while I'm here at home, I'm going to try and put into finishing those edits. That should get me where I want to be, which is hopefully done with the spot edits, and I'm going to be going back and adding some scenes, and I hope to start on that this week. We'll see. I have a little bit of work I need to do on a collaborative project this week as well. So not, I guess, setting aside that, and that will probably only take me an hour or two to finish up now. I've already done some of it. So setting aside that hour, 2 hours that I'm going to put into that, all the writing I do this week, I hope to do on editing Burning Bright, at least while I'm here at home. So yeah, it looks pretty good on the future projects right there. I am beginning to allow myself to think about future Roy Harper stories and about the future of the world I have built for Burning Bright. I do have some plans there. And I think a lot of my attention this year is going to be focused on writing those stories. As for the essays, I don't know if I'm going to get to another series of essays this year or not. Unfortunately, while I was working on them, essays are always interesting to write because you tend to have just a couple of ideas to start with, and then it kind of snowballs. You get some more ideas, and then when you're done, you suddenly find that you can't think of a single other thing to write about, and that will last for about 2 weeks. And then you'll have new ideas, some of which you will, of course, throw out because not all ideas are good. The point is, it's a weird up and down thing. Like, I did not intend to write as many essays as I did. I started out with a list of 6, I think, that I intended to write during this down period, and I wound up adding 2 more, both of them reviews of fiction. As I was working on them, I found myself thinking of certain fictional stories as I was putting together these essays. I'm like, oh, maybe instead of using this like as an example or bringing it up where it didn't really tie in, maybe I should just write my own thing on it. So that's how I wound up with 2 extra essays as I was working on this. And I think that, unfortunately, I may not get to writing a lot of essays on collaboration, which is something I had wanted to do originally as part of my essay writing, but which has just kind of gotten away from me. And now as I sit down to think about it again, I'm like, My thoughts on the subject are not as organized as I thought they were. I have a lot of thoughts here and there that I would like to expand on, but I don't think I'm ready to do it yet. I need to get things more in order. I need to get them more worked out. As a person who iterates a lot, not only in telling stories, but in writing essays, getting these thoughts sorted out and in order and kind of lined up like ducks in a row really helps me when the actual writing process comes around. So I'm probably going to have a page or two of notes on this subject. And I've only done that in essays once before when I was working on a series on the writing of villains, proper villains. I called it the art of evil, so I was not going for like the antagonist or something like that. I actually wanted to talk about some of the interesting things I see in writing villainous characters, and I took some notes for that as well, specifically when I was working on my thoughts on a villain's motivation and things like that. So I'm doing that again, I think, for this topic of collaboration, and I think that will ultimately lead to a better series of essays. And it may, kind of like The Art of Evil, kind of balloon into its own self-contained series that I publish all at once at some point, as opposed to being an ongoing series of essays I write as ideas come to me. Because the more I think about this, the more I think that that structure would really help me discuss the topic. And it is a topic bigger than just one post. I suppose I could do it all as one post, but then I would have spent a lot of time writing maybe 10,000 words on the subject that I would drop all in 1 week, and that would not. It would work better for me to release that over time and use more time to refine it, because it would give me it would allow me to make better use of the buffer zones I build up over the course of a year. So yeah, I am still thinking about that topic, but I haven't brought you any essays on it this time around, unfortunately. And depending on how the Gospel According to Earth goes, we may not get back to essays this year. So while it was one of my goals to write about as I set out this year, I don't know if I'm actually going to get to it. And welcome to writing goals. They often go off the rails and much faster than you would expect, because the year is only a quarter of the way over, and I think I may have to sideline this one. Because by the time all the essays that I have queued up go out, it's going to be the midpoint of the year. And then, who knows? It can be a little bit of a trial to get done all the things you want to get done writing-wise in a year. But that's life. I mean, it's true of everything, not just writing. So all in all, I think I'm making good progress for the year. Burning Bright is the major project for this year. I want to get that published before July, before the midpoint of the year. So I am on track to do that, although not as early as I had hoped. I had originally hoped I might be able to get it out in late April. That's not going to happen because of the extensiveness of the edits that I'm currently working on. I am definitely going to run it through another set of test readers before I pull the trigger on publishing it, and that is going to add at least a month, I would expect, to the lead time to publish. I still need to figure out all the formatting, and I haven't actually looked at commissioning a cover either. I will think about that once I finish my taxes, which is basically what I'm going to work on once I turn the camera off for this video. So yeah, a lot of things up in the air there. I am not getting it out this month. I may get it out in May. We shall see. If I can't get it out in May, definitely by the end of June. That is my hard deadline, because I want the second half of the year to be devoted to writing the Gospel According to Earth. I still really want to finish the Triad World books, which have turned themselves into a much bigger project than I was expecting them to be. So yeah, I would like to close up that chapter of my writing career. It's very important to me, I think, that story gets a good definitive ending. And then who knows, maybe I will polish it all up, and if Burning Bright goes well, I may release it as an omnibus at some point in the future. But beyond that, I would also like it out of the back of my mind and onto the page, so I can devote more mental space to expanding on the Roy Harper stories, expanding on Burning Bright, and also I'm beginning to look again at scripts for Hexwood, both revising the Volume 1 script and writing Volume 2, because I would like to go back to that comic project. It was a lot of fun, and I wouldn't mind doing it again, even though doing the art is a huge time sink. it would be fun to do. So that's where I'm at writing-wise right now. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. There's a like button and a subscribe button. You can use those as you see fit. I'll talk to you later.